Okay, so this is a response to Conspiracy Dude's video, or videos, plural, I should say, about Flat Earth. He's, I'm guessing, a member of the Flat Earth Society. I'm not sure if he actually does anything with them or something, but he thinks that the Earth is flat and it's not a globe. And just trying to respond to his videos. I think there's 4 about it. And okay, so I'm going to start with one of the points about the ancient civilizations, about like Egypt and like what we call other ancient civilizations, and how they were more advanced than modern day scientists and other things like that. Like how they build things much more complex than us, and they knew a lot more than us, and they said that the world was flat. And I think that idea is kind of ridiculous, because human knowledge is accumulative. Like we gather the knowledge from people prior to us. We take the knowledge from someone else and apply it to our lives so that we can learn more. And if they were right, then we would have that knowledge nowadays. So I'm just making that a point. Also, he's talking about like how dare we question the Mayans and the Egyptians and stuff? How dare we? We know nothing about architecture and engineering and stuff. And actually, my dad's an architect. I build things all the time. I understand the physics of a lot of things, and I can imagine many ways to build those structures. He's like, we can't possibly build the ancient pyramids. Well, obviously we can. And also another point, like they were more advanced than us. They carried the giant stones to create the pyramids and stuff, and that we can't possibly do that. Well, first of all, they did it with a lot of slave work. That's how that worked out. And we do it with a hell of a lot of diesel fuel, and that'll get the job done if it's put into the right machine. So another point, I think this was made in the first video, where you're showing like pictures of an Earth, and it had like skyscrapers that were like proportionally insane. That would never happen, and the bottom of them was a lot thinner than the top of them. And he was saying how like the sides of the buildings are going straight towards the center, so that it's like more stable and stuff. So how come that doesn't happen in real life? And that's what would happen if the Earth was round. But that only works if skyscrapers are that huge, and they're not. They are not even close to being that proportionally huge to the Earth. Like it's not even close. Another point that he made in the first video was about whatchamacallit. The weight of the oceans is like a lot more than the weight of the people on the continents, and so the gravity would have to be a lot stronger to pull the oceans down. I think I'm messing that up a little bit, but it's kind of like the gist of what he was saying, how like the gravity of the Earth would have to be a lot more, like the force of gravity would have to be a lot more to hold everything down. But he's kind of confusing gravity and mass, because they're two different things. Mass stays the same no matter what the gravitational force on you is, and your gravity changes. Like, gravity is acting equally on all things, but things weigh differently because they have different masses. The ocean has a different mass from every human, and that's why it weighs a lot more. So I'm not sure if that clarified or something. Also, he said it would have to be a lot more, or else the oceans would fall off the Earth. But that doesn't make any sense, because there is no other gravitational force that is strong enough to do that even remotely close to the Earth. Like, the sun is probably the closest thing that is strong enough to pull things off of the Earth, and it would have to be right next to us, and it's not. So that just doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure if there's like some misunderstanding there, but yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. So like the eternal daylight thing that you're talking about, like that happens in the Antarctic and the North Pole, obviously, and the South Pole. Where like half of the year it will be only day, and then half of the year it will be only night. And I'm gonna try to explain that the best I can. I'm not really good at explaining things, but I'll try. Okay, so the Earth is tilted. I think it's like 30. I'm not sure. No, it's 12 degrees, 12.5. I'm pretty sure that's the exact number. Like in comparison to its rotation around the sun. So yeah, 12 degrees off of the rotation, not rotation, orbit around the sun, and because of that, sometimes like. So I'm going to use top and bottom like subjectively, as if we were looking at the sun and the Earth on a plane of the orbit around the sun. And so sometimes the top, saying North Pole, even though it's not really the top, there is no top, is pointed towards the sun. The top of that tilt is pointed towards the sun. Then the North Pole will constantly be getting sunlight because it is always being pointed towards the sun. But as it orbits around the sun, like when it gets to that opposite side, the angle of tilt doesn't change. So now it's pointed away from the sun, so it's not getting constant sunlight. But the bottom, the South Pole is. I'm not sure if that really clarified, but I hope it did. That's kind of my explanation of things. And so I guess here are a couple things that I just wondered about, like flat Earth theory and about that. So you said that the Earth is like flat, the North Pole is in the middle, and it spins like a record, and then the Antarctica is like around it, and there's like giant walls of ice and stuff around the edge of it. And I was just wondering, why can't we see them? Because people have gone in every direction, on airplanes, on boats, on things. People have traveled. A vast amount of people have traveled everywhere. And we haven't seen huge walls of ice that we can't get over. We've scaled Mount Everest. We've been to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. We've been to the extremes. Why can't we climb over a 150-foot tall wall of ice that no one has ever seen? That's just my question to you. And let me just check. I know that you have a couple of videos, and then there's a couple of points made in them. I'm not sure, like what's happening there, but hold on, let me just look. Okay, so I didn't find anything, but I do have something where like you were like rebuttaling things like from videos, like that's been evident. And I was just wondering if I could have a conversation with you, because this video and video response thing, in my mind, it doesn't work. So I was just wondering if you had a Skype and if you could like give it to me so that we could actually have a conversation about this, and so that we could have like a reasonable discussion. And I don't call names, and I'm like blah 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 blah. I'm not trying to degrade you because of what you think. I'm just trying to understand why you think it and trying to see where you're coming from, and I want to have a discussion with you. And I think, you know, the videos back and forth, it just doesn't cut it, you know. I just don't feel like it's good enough. So I just wanna have a conversation on Skype or a messaging system or something, I don't know. So yeah, if you could let me know, that'd be cool. And just respond with a video or private message, and I'll respond back. So yeah, I guess. All right.